3 ways to outspend your competition without spending a cent in advertising. Yes, you heard me correctly. 3 ways to outspend your competition without spending a cent in advertising. Hold on, Gabriel. What are you saying? You're telling me that I can outspend my competition without spending any money? You're 100% right. Because, hey, money isn't the only resource that you can spend in order to dominate. Because there are a lot of other resources I'm going to talk about to you guys right now that you can by far and extremely easily outspend those guys, because your competition though doesn't know the things that I'm going to share with you right now. So stay tuned and make sure that you watch this, because it's going to blow your mind. Number 1, you need to outspend them by attacking your list heavily. Your list, what do you mean? I mean your email list. People, if they have an email list first, as I talked about in the previous episode, make sure that you always have an email list and you build it up as much as possible. People do not use that gold. They are missing a ton of money because they are not talking and touching their newsletter, their email list enough. Like, people always like, oh yeah, but they are going to be to unsubscribe. Yes, of course. If they do unsubscribe, they would actually be unsubscribed anyway, because they don't like the content that you're producing. They are not your people, and you do not have to worry about that. The thing is, you should pretty much touch your list every day, and I would also recommend multiple times a day to make sure that they remember you and that you maximize the amount of money that you guys can make out of your list. Plus, it's going to be the best way for helping them, because you're not just taking money out here. You're also helping people, because if you exchange money with somebody, your product is actually better for them than the money they just spent. So you are helping them by making sure they buy from you. So make sure that you attack your list heavily, like attack it aggressively, as I like to say. We're all about aggressiveness in that Marketing Commanders show. Now, number 2, way that you can outspend your competition without spending the cost, a cent in advertising, is to send more hooks. I talked about that previously in the beginning of the show. What do I mean by sending more hooks? Hooks are basically the way to grab attention, and attention is by far the most important resource in today's episode. You can be posting a ton of content, ton of great offers, you may have the best products ever. If nobody knows you, if you do not grab the attention of anybody first, they will never know about your perfect solution to them. So you need to have first great hooks, and then it's like fishing. The more hooks you're going to send to the sea, the higher the chances for you to catch a fish. Exactly the same thing. And you need to have the right baits on that hook to make sure the fish grabs the hook. Now, depending on the kind of fish that you want, that's a great analogy actually for online marketing. Depending on the kind of fish that you want, depending on the kind of customers that you want, you may need to have a different bait on your hook. So test out different baits, test out different hooks to see which one works the best for your customers. So send more hooks. Next way you can outspend your competition is to promote more. Promoting more. I see that mistakes. That's by, I think, maybe not the one that's not made enough, but by maybe in the top 2-3 things that businesses are not doing. They are not promoting their services enough. They are not preaching what they are doing enough. They are not saying, hey, we are the best, we do that, we are the best, we do this. Oh, look at the great thing that we did. They try to be too humble, but in the wrong way. Being humble is great, but having nobody knowing about your product and your solution is a disservice for them, because as I told you, if the customer judges that they should pay for your services or your product, it's because they value more your products than the money they are giving to you. So that means that you're actually giving them a service by having an even exchange that they actually feel like, hey, it's better for me to have that product, that service, rather than that money. So the thing is, you need to be promoting more so they can realize that. Promoting more means to make sure that you promote yourself and you are the person that they know, oh, okay, he's a real deal. He says he's the best and he shows he or she is the best. I'm going to go with them. So make sure you promote aggressively, promote more than what seems to be reasonable. Next thing, bonus, because I always like to throw some bonus at you guys. Post more. I talked about that in Marketing Commandos. I think it was episode 2, but how you can be posting more. And I'm going to share with you a framework in a few seconds on how you can make sure you post more, but I'm going to keep that a secret until I talk about that. But the thing is, if you guys post more, you can grab so much low-hanging fruit because nobody is posting at the right level to make sure that they get the market share that they want to have. For real, guys. Let me tell you something. The amount of content that's uploaded every day on those platforms, you cannot even imagine. You cannot even think about the amount of content that's published on those platforms. I think it's like 1 billion minutes of videos on YouTube are uploaded every day. And you think because you are posting 1 video a month, oh, well, I need to stop because I'm promoting myself too much. No. You got plenty of time. You got plenty of time before you get to that level of action. So guys, there is so much content, there is so much abundance of people that are trying to grab your attention that you basically can never post enough. And yes, you're going to annoy some people, but remember that thing, you're going to annoy the people that are not the right people, the right customers for you, because the guys that you are targeting, they will find the value because they know they need this. And the people that will left you, they were basically not dream customer. If you look at it, those who will stick with you the longest, those guys are the dream customers. Those guys are the ones that will stay with you the longest. So focus on them. And those guys are drowned in a sea of attention grabbing BS everywhere. So you need to make sure that you grab their attention. And one of the ways to grab their attention is to be posting more. That's a huge low-hanging fruit that you guys can definitely use in order to grab some market share.